On Nationwide today, the unholy row about one man's plans to turn the local church into his home. Born to dance on the Russian stage, the Irish ballerina following in the footsteps of Pavlova. Life in inverted commas, what Kevin McAleer says, it says in the papers, and the high-tech wizardry devised to teach the deaf to communicate. It bids for our AIB Nationwide Better Ireland Award. Hello and welcome to the programme. Now, most of us get along to church maybe once a week or so, but how would you like to eat, sleep and live there all week, every week? Well, one man and his family want exactly that, because they want to make the local church their home, but the local people want to give them their holy marching orders.
Of course, while it's a serious issue to those involved, it's a story which lends itself to all sorts of puns, not helped by the fact that the church was at the centre of another controversy recently. It's the old Church of Ireland building in Ovens, County Cork, for which a crematorium has been proposed. Now the area has yet another burning issue.
Storm clouds gathering over the townland of Ovens in County Cork, where the former Church of Ireland chapel is once again in the news. Just 2 years ago, developers applied for planning permission for a crematorium on the site, but local opposition sealed its fate. Now it's making headlines once again, this time because its current owner wants to convert it into a home for his family, and he's got the blessing of An Bord Pleanála, much to the dismay of the relatives of those buried in the graveyard.
This is an active graveyard. There's 4 burials here in the last 12 months or so. One as late as 6 weeks ago. And if you have a family living in here, there's no restrictions on kids playing in graves, even in open graves, or domestic animals such as dogs or cats or domestic rubbish or whatever. And you could have a situation where a person would be being buried here in this graveyard, and maybe music in the background from a great party going on at the house. So it's a very, very sad and trying time for people that have to be buried here. And, you know, there's a lot of people to be interred in this graveyard yet. Probably would be for the next 50 years.
The current owner of the church is John Ford. He says he's no intention of interfering with the graves, but he does plan a driveway through the graveyard along an existing right-of-way.
I will not disturb their graves, I will not interfere with graves. I would hope to enhance the property here, all the property, not just the church itself. That is my ambition. I have no ambition to upset anybody, but at the same time, I need to get my own house in order before I do anything else.
There are other concerns too. Mary Lehan's family grave is just 18 inches from the church wall. Before planning permission was granted, both she and her brother want to be buried here too.
I didn't buy the graves. I only bought the church and a walkway around it, that's all. I have no ambition or intention of doing anything there, apart from repairing the guttering where it is damaged and if slates come loose.
Every funeral that comes into this graveyard has to make its way past to your front door. Does that not bother you?
Not in the least. Not in the least. I have no problem with it.
And
oh, it's an oddball situation for people who are into living in semi-detaches in town. I'm not one of those people.
One of my main concerns is just inside the entrance. There's a killeen where newly born children and children that weren't baptised were buried. We don't know exactly where it is, but we know that it's just inside the gate on the right-hand side. And there are lots and lots of children buried there, including a sister of my own, who was buried when she was less than 6 months old.
It's not just Protestants and Catholics who share Athnowen graveyard, but settled people and travellers alike. The O'Driscolls have been burying their dead here for over 300 years. They too have concerns.
We still have a problem.
We will have a problem, yeah.
Just still going to interfere. Children will interfere with anything.
Yeah.
Children have to interfere with graves to get in.
When they get inside that gate an inch, they'll take a foot the next step. You see, we're not leaving them inside the gate. So, like, the point is that they'll want to make the way that they want, and they'll want to bulldoze all the graves. And how we look to that didn't happen in this country. It was in Germany that happened, the time that Hitler bulldozed the gypsies. We can't allow that here.
You want to travellers all over Munster and camp outside the gate, that can be done. So he won't like that idea if he's going to build a house tower.
Despite growing anger, Bord Pleanála recently upheld John Ford's plans for the church, subject to 7 conditions. These include the provision of a treatment plant and a condition that the building isn't turned into a guest house. Their view: it's preferable to find new uses for old buildings before they fall into serious decline and decay.
I don't intend holding discos there or opening a bar there. I intend living there with my wife, Pauline, and my 3 children. I have no other ambitions. That's it, bottom line. If it's against what the locals wanted, then I would have presumed they would have done something in the line of purchasing it when it came for sale first day. They didn't, I did. I saw it as a golden opportunity to have something I wanted for a long time.
Well, you've put your dream on the market. Do you actually expect to get a buyer, considering the trouble you have?
I've already had generous offers. But as I said, my ambition is to keep the church, and my ambition is to develop it to a domestic dwelling for my wife and my family.
We hope common sense would prevail and that maybe there could be some conclusion. I know it's a nice building. It's a lovely place to come and worship. But what other use you can put it to that doesn't interfere with the rights of the people that are to be buried here? I honestly don't know.
Dead on.